Yo, my bad. What's good, everybody? I was briefly interrupted. Thank y'all for coming through. Man, I have a crazy story for y'all today. Um, Make sure y'all hit that like button, hit the thumbs up for me, as these stories just don't happen as often, especially with me. And also, it's gonna be a way that y'all can have an awareness point. So, yeah. Hope y'all day going good. Hope y'all day going good. I'm gonna give it to the 5 minute mark. I'm gonna start telling y'all this crazy story at the 5 minute mark. Um, it was a hell of an experience for me. I don't think I'll end up in that situation again. But man, shout out to everybody that's coming in. Much respect to y'all, man. We got a crazy one coming for y'all today. Um, I have my microphone on the charger, so tonight when we do the podcast, everything will be good. Y'all be able to hear me a little bit more down holler. What's happening? We 4 minutes into it, man. Y'all get ready for this crazy story. And it was just like for me, it's like you don't even pull your phone out in a situation like that. Your life is in danger. So I couldn't get any film or get any footage because, that's gonna make you seem like like you utilizing this moment to try to capture clout and some numbers and attention when your life is at risk. And it was one of them situations for me, man. And with that being said, let's get straight into it. But I am going to cut the camera off just for a brief moment while I prepare myself for y'all who can stay and listen to this crazy story. I appreciate that. For y'all who wanted to stay but can't, I appreciate you too. Just make sure that y'all hit the thumbs up. So let's get straight into it. Right. So my daughter calls me. She's the manager of this restaurant, and one of her workers came in sick and she sent them home. Usually when she send them home, she worked with the workers that she have. And so it was only like three workers in the store, one on the drive-through, one on the grill, and one at the cash register. Now, that being said, her boss called. She called her boss, let the boss know what was going on. The boss said, under any circumstances, you have to get somebody else there to work. The boss was like, I don't care if they don't work for the company. You got to get somebody in there. So she calls me. I get there and I'm helping her work or whatever the case may be, doing what I need to do. Fast forward, they backup worker showed up, so I was able to leave. Now the initial plan was because I actually I actually got dropped off there through my neighbor. He was headed to work and he dropped me off. I wasn't gonna drive or whatever the case may be. Now the plan was for Shantae to drop me back off home after we both clock out. I wasn't expecting, or she wasn't expecting, for the backup worker to show up. So I'm sitting there and I'm going through my list of contacts, which neighbor I'm going to call to come pick me up. Now here's where things get tricky, right? So y'all remember when I was in Georgia and they took me to jail for feeding the homeless? Well, they called it trespassing. Y'all remember that, right? So when I did get there, I met this one guy and he was a Caucasian guy. Not that this race matters, but he was a Caucasian guy and he just had like so many tattoos on his face. And when we looking around in the pod, we the only two with tattoos on. We clicked. I mean, we talking, and it was to the point to where even I was initially in a cell with two other guys, but jail politics work different. Like just because they assign you to that cell, you don't have to be there. So the Caucasian guy kicked his cellmate out and wanted me to move in his cell. And so I'm in his cell and we just like getting to know. He's kind of crazy, like, you know what I'm saying, but he's not crazy to where you think like he'll do something to you. Not that. He's just one of those talk fast, always hyper, laugh at everything. He's like one of those crazy, like the good friend crazy. So we kicked it off pretty cool, and we both end up getting out on the same day. And so what happened was I ended up losing his number. We lost contact, but we had made like this real connection because I was telling him what I do on YouTube, who I am, how I changed, and I was trying to get him to change too. I'm like, bro, you, because he did a drug that's called ice. I don't know. So and I was just talking to him like, yeah, bro, when you get out, cause you got a daughter, you got a son, bro, you should wanna, I even like let me interview you on my podcast when we get out, let people see, you know. And so we lose contact. Now fast forward to today, I'm at inside the restaurant looking for the contacts to pick me up, and somebody just tapped me on my shoulder, and I look up, and all I see was a bunch of tattoos, and it's the dude that I was in jail with. And so, we greet each other, hug each other, and I could tell immediately, like, yeah, like, he's not intoxicated from drinks, but like, he definitely like did some kind of drug. But it was like a good moment, and he wasn't like super, super intoxicated, but I can tell because I'm from the streets and I just know. And so, we exchanged numbers, and he asked me what I was about to do. I'm like, I'm waiting on a ride, and he goes, I can take you. I just got my Jeep. And I look out, and he pointed at the Jeep, showed me the Jeep. I'm like, cool. Shantae, I got a ride. Don't worry about it. I'm about to go. We gets inside the car. We driving. We stop at a red light. Y'all, I promise y'all, this man pulled out a bag of ice. It just looked like a bunch of crystals, like just a bunch of flaky crystals. He pulled out a bag of ice, and he picked some up, and he sniffed it. And in my head, I'm like, how in the hell did I get in the car with this dude? We get to the second red light, police get behind us, light him up. And so he's like pulling over to the side. The dude about to pull over to the side. I'm not gonna say his name, let's just say 17. He pulls over to the side, and the cop walks up to the side of him and asks for his license or registration. And as soon as the cop asks him that, he smashed it. And my head went back like, whoa. And I'm looking at him like, bro, just let me out. Just let me out. And the police behind us, I let the window down, and I'm doing this out the window like, yo, I am not with this dude. Like, I'm trying to surrender. I am not with him. And so, long story short, he crashed out, hit like one of those little yellow poles at a gas station, like that be by the parking area. He hit one of those yellow poles. Wasn't nothing bad like that. They put both of us in handcuffs, and so they had to do an investigation. They had to go back to the restaurant and see where we greeted each other on camera and see that I just literally, I haven't been with him. And so they go and talk to Shantae. They like, was he just working, and did this guy just work? And so they got the story together, and they let me go. And so they get him, and get this, they get not only the crystal, whatever it is, out this guy's pocket, but it goes to the back of the trunk area, and this dude had like a shoebox with like canisters. He basically makes this stuff himself. It was a lab in the back of his trunk. And I'm just like, I will never in my black life, I just can't trust nobody. Just like, I can't trust nobody. Like, yo, if the cameras, if Shantae, like, if all that evidence went there, I could have got charged with this dude for trafficking or whatever. And now, mind y'all, he just got out. Like, not since the last time he was like that with me, but he just got out again. And I was just like, man, it's crazy. Like, for me, it was just more so like, damn, bro, because when we both was in that cell, all we was talking about was going home. It wasn't no gang stuff, wasn't no gangster stuff. We wanted to go home. He was talking about he wanted to see his daughter and his son. I was talking about the same thing. I want to go home to my family. And just the way we was feeling at that exact time, I can remember it was like 3 a.m. because at 2 a.m. in jail, that's when you get your medical call. And, of course, I take meds. So they woke me up to come get my meds. And so he was woke too. And that's what we was talking about. We didn't go to sleep that whole night. We was talking about going home, how he's going to change himself and how I'm going to help him. And to see somebody go through that and turn around and get locked right back up with all of these drugs. And it's just like, bro, did you not learn anything? Did you? And it's crazy because I love this dude. You know what I'm saying? He a good dude, Some people may look at him and judge him because he got so many tattoos and he talk fast and his movements is kind of all over the place. If y'all take the time to really get to know somebody, man, a lot of these people have a heart. A lot of these people, don't really come off as bad people for the most part. A lot of these people is good people, and I met him in jail where a lot of bad people is, and and I learned who he was. When I first seen him with them face tattoos, I'm like, I'm about to distance myself from this dude. I'm gonna talk to him now so he won't feel disrespected as we was in the jail. But I'm gonna distance. I'm not about to say nothing else to this dude. He like, he'll cut my head off. That's what I was saying in my head. And I met him, and he was the kindest dude. Like this dude with all his tattoos on his face. He was in the gang, but all these tattoos on his face in his gang every single night. This man would not let me go to sleep with on no funny stuff because I know how like a lot of y'all trolls already like to call me gay or whatever the case may be, but it takes some real men to do this. We grab each other's hands and he pray for me and he'll tell me I love you, bro, and he'll hug me and I tell him I love you too. This man has so many tattoos you can barely see his face, but that type of character will pray for you and tell you that they love you faster than somebody who you may think will. A lot of these church people, y'all may think that, man, it's people. Listen, man, it's people like that we got to pay attention to. They be having hearts. It's because of how they dress. It's because of what they may look like. It's because of what they may sound like, what they may talk like. Some of them is former gang members, such as myself. And man, you gotta take the time to get to know some of these people. You can learn something from them. I learned something from him. I did that. Not all scary looking dudes is a scary looking dude. Not all the intimidating man is intimidating. Not all of these gang members is really what they portray to be. You know what I'm saying? Some people may be like, "Oh, you got the wrong one." That's because he's Caucasian. No, it ain't. Scan ain't got itch to do with nothing. I done met some black dudes the same way, but fortunately, this one was the guy. This Caucasian guy with all these tattoos was the one. Every single night, out of all those men that was in that jail, like, nah, what you doing laying down? We ain't prayed. Come on, we gotta pray, bro. We gotta pray. Don't you love God? I know I do. Grab my hands. We praying together, telling each other we love each other. And so that just gave me a whole new light on certain people. Now I see certain people and I won't be so quick to just be like, nah. You know what I'm saying? I try to actually get to know certain people. And some people have reasons they may want to look intimidating or scary for a reason. And then he told me, even though he was gang related, he told me he got those tattoos when he went to jail for the first time. He had to sit down for 6 months. He said, I was a white boy and I already know what was gonna happen. It was gonna mark me out. And so I wanted to look like I didn't play that. And it actually worked for me. This is what he told me. And so a lot of people have a reason why they do certain things. And we can't be so quick to judge people, man. We can't. I don't care what they may look like, what colors they may wear. Even some of these gang members. Y'all got to understand, a lot of these gang members are in the gang because they scared. They scared to live life like us. We normal civilians. They scared of that. They are petrified of that. That's a scary feeling for them. Just like for us, it's a scary feeling to join a gang. Some of them just scared. That's all they know. That's how they grew up. I'm not saying that we have to forgive them for what the hell they doing, but I'm saying get to know them. Some of them people, they scared. I'm gonna try to cut a 30 minute on here if y'all don't mind. If y'all want to kick it. Don Holler, appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, so I try to just, for the most part, I try to. Some dudes even tried to like place me already, like even on a couple occasions where like I could be at the store or something, and some dude would be like, "Yo, when I locked up with you, or bro, like you, bro, ain't you there's a certain cut?" They'd be like, "Bro, you Damu, ain't you?" And I'm like, "No, no." And even though that could get you certain rank in a certain area, like next time I come back up there, they know he down move not to really play with him like that. But I don't want that rank. I don't want like a fear rank. I want people to see me and go, "Oh, that's TSM rapper. What up, bro?" So yeah, man, these tattoos on my face really don't justify who I am as a person. Not even this internet stuff, this YouTube justify who I am as a person. I think it's just me, period. When nobody's around, that's really who you are. Like the person that you are when there's nobody around but you, that's who you are. That's exactly who you are. So try to always be that person, even though it's okay to clean up a little bit in front of people. Just try to always be who the hell you are. Because one thing for sure, we're gonna get judged anyways, and people talk about the high almighty. I expect people to talk about me and to judge me and to say some weird things about me. I'm gonna check that out. Red, welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, so in fact, what time is it? 6. So Fanny, we going on at 8:30, right? Hopefully you got the topics and everything ready. Y'all remember at on Friday, 7 o'clock, we're gonna have kids night. And so it's gonna be something fun for the kids. Fanny, you came through with that energy. That's why I love you. Reds, hotter not nails. Thank you so much for coming through. I really appreciate that. Yeah, so I had to just come on here and share that story. Watch who we hang with. Watch who we hang around. Just watch our every move. One decision that we make can be just like that. Could just be it. And so job correct instead of just saying, oh, automatically assuming the worst of me because of how I look, because of the face tattoos and the locks and everything else. And also want to shout out to Shantae for being there to let the cops know like he just picked this guy up. But people who's your friend will put you in trouble with them. They still care for you, they still love you, but some people are so fearful they will drag you in their troubles unwillingly to you. So you got to be careful. I was so quick to get in the car with him and be like, yeah, drop me off. Even though the ride back was only like 5, 6 minutes, but in between them 5, 6 minutes, he ended up pulling out a bag of drugs, doing drugs, and then this police chasing. So that was a scary situation for me. It could have went left so many ways. Could have been a fatal accident. The police could have been unprofessional police and just wanted to book two guys on one thing and just say, yeah, just because you were in the car with him. And that's another thing that's why I'm super glad, and I want to cut my camera on when I say this because a lot of people might hate this description. That's why I'm super glad that I'm not a felon. I don't have anything on my background to where that's gonna prevent, that's gonna have the cops to look into me either further or anything like that. Anytime a police officer look at my background, the only thing they gonna see is that one of their officers arrested me for feeding the homeless or trespassing. That's it. Like that's it. And even that got through. When I went to court, the judge was like, "What the hell?" That's what he said. He said, "What the hell? They took you to jail for this?" Yeah. And so but I do want to say this to give some awareness. They didn't just take me to jail for feeding the homeless. When they stopped me, what I was doing was a good deed. So when they stopped me, I had an attitude. I wasn't my best self. I could have been more presentable to the police officers than me throwing out some profanity and telling them that And so if y'all can just like during those encounters with the officers, just kind of like try to be respectful. Even though some of them may disrespect you, just try to be respectful, and it should save you a trip from a jail. But me, cussing the police out. How dare you stop me from feeding these people? It's not like y'all doing it. Y'all police officers around here, it's terrible. Y'all stopping people that don't need to be stopped when there's so many murders going on and just stuff like that. And so when I said that, and then he told me to be quiet, and I said, First Amendment, I know my rights. And he said, that's it. You going to jail for disorderly conduct. I said, wow. So one thing they do hate is when you know your rights. Don't let them know that you know your rights. If you do know your rights, save them until it's time to use them up in court. Don't let the officer know that you know your rights. Because soon as you say that, the moment you say that, depending on what officer you dealing with, um, Adriana, what's going on? Depending on what officer you dealing with, it can end very bad. And so I'm not just gonna get on here and just make it seem like, oh, they arrested me for feeding the homeless. No, I was feeding the homeless in an area that the homeless people was trespassed from. The officers were stopping me. I guess he was stopping me to let me know that, but in the midst of that, he was like, and I'm gonna also write you a ticket for trespassing. And I'm like, how dare you write me a ticket for trespassing for feeding these people? And I'm pointing at the wagon full of sandwiches and chips that I got sacked up, and I'm like, you don't see I'm trying to do a good deed? All y'all do is destroy this community and all of this. And he was just like, you know what, man, just shut up. And I'm like, you don't tell me to shut up. That's my first commandment is we can speak. I know my rights. And he said, you know what? You going for disorderly, and put my hands behind my back and put me in the cups before he even asked me my name. And I was like, wow. I was like, wow. And I even told him, I was like, yo, this will be my first time going to jail. I never been in trouble for anything. He said, well, welcome to the party. I'm like, damn, bro, like who you woke up and saw your wife texting what other officer? Cause you got an attitude out this. Sheesh. Like, people, don't bring your attitudes to work. I don't know if his wife got caught texting a deputy or something, but that's the way he was acting. It was just like, and then my man, and then, well, I was about to say something that probably was gonna get me kicked off YouTube, but yeah, they just like, for me, that was just like, okay, now I see how this system works. I hear people say the system is set up to get a certain ethnicity a background just so they can have a background. I used to hear people say that, and they like, that's BS. Like, they not, why would they waste their resources and time just to try to make sure that we got a background? Like, no. I used to tell people like, yo, I'm so and so age, I never been in jail for nothing. And it's like, now I have to tell people like, yeah, I've been in jail, but it was for feeding the homeless. And it's like, damn, like, what's it? You got a man that never been in jail, never been convicted of nothing, like stealing at a store, like no candy, a bag of chips, like nothing. Like, I never did none of that. It was like, I never touched a pair of handcuffs or seen an officer up close. Like, anytime I seen it was close distance or on TV. And so for them to arrest me and with a clean slated background, and for them to tell me like, welcome to the party, I'm like, I'm 70-80% with these guys who says the system is set up to, let's just say it, to give a black man a background. 80% of that is true. Definitely. There's no way I should have went for that. Like, feeding the, for one, I'm feeding the homeless, dude. Like, I know you see all these wagons, we got shirts we giving out to these people. And it's just like the rude way he stopped me too. Like, he pulled up, like, I'm on a sidewalk. I and Slim White on the sidewalk, and we not even recording it. You know how some people do it for clout? We not doing this for clout, tax purposes, or nothing. Like, this is what I do. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so we just hear the car tire skirt, like, and he just jumped out the car like he just caught me robbing a bank and walked up to me real fast. He was like, you, come here. And I looked back. He was like, I'm talking to you. And so I came up to him. He said, you know you trespassing, right? I said, what you mean? He said, everybody around here, all these homeless people has been trespassed from this area. I said, I'm not a homeless person. I'm feeding the homeless people. He said, you want to be a smart ass now, huh? And so that's how it all started. After he said that, I'm like, what? And so it just transitioned from there. And he told me to shut up. And I said, yo, you can't tell me to shut up. I know my rights. And after that, he said, disorderly conduct. Right on my wrist, put it behind my back, click, back of the squad car. And it was one officer that showed up on scene. Shout out to him. I can't remember his name, but he showed up on scene, and he said to the guy, do you even got his name? And he did what? And I seen him shake his head like that. And he came to the back of the car, and he got me out the car, took the handcuffs off me, and then he was asking me the questions. Like, you can't, basically telling dude, you can't just put him in the back of the squad car just based off of your arrogant attitude. So it's like, could you explain to me what's going on? And so me and him got to talking. And unfortunately, he was gonna let me walk, but the first officer had already wrote the disorderly conduct and dispatched it into radio. And so they already had me on the way to jail. That's how quick he had that done with his attitude. And so the first officer was just pissed off. He was just mad, like, yo. And these was two black officers, by the way. And I'm like, why? You know what I'm saying? Why is it that these white officers showing up on the scene is so professional, making me feel good? Do you need the window let down? Is these cuffs too loose? Do you feel comfortable in his squad car? Do you want to get in ours? All these Caucasian officers coming up to me being so polite, and dude was just like, bro, You know what I'm saying? And it's like everybody can't be everything. Not everybody can be. Everybody can't be a rapper. Everybody can't be a singer. Everybody can't be a YouTuber. Damn show everybody can't be a police officer. It's just like it's terrible, y'all. I was y'all know how good I felt telling people I've never, because people used to judge me. That's the first thing they used to. Even people like I just told y'all earlier, dudes, I'd be in the store and dudes be like, when I locked up with you, no. Like this ain't that type of party, buddy. Like so people already assume when they look at me, like, and I used to be so proud to tell them I never been locked up for anything. And someone used to look at me like, yeah, right. Like I know you've been locked up for a couple fights or something like that. No, not at all. Even till this day, that incident I got locked up for, and that's it. And yeah, I hate to say this, especially live, but I'm on probation for that. And it's like that was probably like 3 or 4 years ago. I got placed on probation for that, and I just like never showed up. And yeah, so if y'all ever see me just disappear for a couple days or a couple weeks or something like that, they got me. And no, I'm not just gonna walk in there and say, "Here I am," because I wasn't supposed to be in there in the first place. I know my manager gonna be mad at me for saying that. All right, y'all. I'm about to do the closing. We've reached just about the 30-minute mark. I really, really, really appreciate y'all so much for giving me this time over here, as I needed to draw these watch hours up. And just have fun with y'all, man. I love to connect with y'all and to sit here and interact with y'all, and just to let y'all know. So red hot or not, Snell. So when that incident happened with me going to jail for feeding the homeless, once I got out, they placed me on probation. That was like 4 years ago. And so when they placed me on probation, I was supposed to like show up to this probation hearing, and just like I just like never did. For some reason, I think, as a matter of fact, I think I like ended up in the hospital. And so after that, they sent me an email and asked me, can I like show up? And I already know, like, as soon as I show up to that probation officer, they're gonna lock me up because it's probably a bench warrant out for me. But it's not like it's for a bad reason. All this stands for me feeding homeless people. And so yeah, I'm not just gonna just go in there and say, here I am. Um, and if I just disappear for like a week or two, then they freaking caught me. But it's been like 3 years or 4 years almost, and so but y'all know how they do. Sometimes it could be 8 to 10 years, and they still have you in the database. And I just hope it still ain't the same rule, because one rule back at the time was when you miss your probation here, however long you was on the run, that's how much time you had to sit down for. And I just like, if they make me sit down for 4 years just for missing probation, that'd be, y'all run my YouTube up. But love you all. Have a nice night. I will see y'all at 8:30 p.m.